The clean girl / that girl aesthetic is one that confuses me the most, and I think we're bound to continue talking about it since its popularity only seems to increase. And what confuses me the most is the ambivalence in its definition. You're supposed to look like you didn't try too hard, but at the same time do a 13-step skincare routine. You're supposed to enjoy the small moments in your life and at the same time meticulously document them on social media. And since the aesthetics that linger on the most are usually not only fashion aesthetics but also lifestyle ones that transverse every aspect of our lives, like our diet, mindset, beauty, skincare, workout, hobbies, the clean girl aesthetic does all of that too. The clean girl and that girl concepts are used usually interchangeably because they are referring to adjacent aesthetics. The only difference being that the clean girl aesthetic is usually associated with the beauty industry and that girl aesthetics is more of an all-encompassing lifestyle one. The clean girl aesthetic entitles minimal makeup containing feathered eyebrows, glossy lips, only a bit of BB cream and concealer are allowed, mascara and a bit of blush, and that's pretty much it. Instead, all the attention is put on the skincare routine, which is supposed to give you that dewy base. In terms of hairstyles, it's all very sleek, pushed back in a bun or a ponytail. For the manicure, Hailey Bieber's glazed donut nails have become a staple and a trend that everyone is doing at the moment. Basically, just think of that girl, everyone knows at least one, whose skin looks super fresh, never has a hair out of place, she exclusively drinks matcha and chai lattes, and seems like she has her life together. I mean, it's something that we all do in our lives, but it is taken to a different extreme in the case of the clean girl aesthetic. Trying hard to look like you didn't try hard. I mean, that's the whole point of the no makeup that I feel like was reformulated and repackaged in the clean girl aesthetic, but it's basically kind of the same thing. It is also known as the semi-natural makeup in the beauty industry. The heavy makeup versus natural beauty debate is one as old as time. The clean girl aesthetic seems to give that freedom from having to wear heavy makeup every time you step out of your house. But of course, on the only condition that your skin is flawless, and according to this aesthetic, this can only be achieved with a religiously habitual practice of a skincare routine. This is where this aesthetic can become exclusionary, as all are at some point. There are many people that cannot afford having such a meticulous skincare routine due to time or money constraints. I mean, the products that these girlies are using are not cheap. And at the end of the day, these are influencers with a contract that are selling you a product under the guise of following an aesthetic. So there comes another conclusion that we can make, which is that an aesthetic is viable so long as it can sell you something. Be it the moisturizer from La Roche-Posay, a checkered blazer for dark academia, or a puff sleeve dress for cottagecore. Adhering to an aesthetic is inherently linked with the consumerist culture, but it is also a way to reinforce one's image of themselves. I have this little ceramic frog on my desk, my style is cottagecore, thus this is who I am and what I represent. Communicating your identity through what you acquire or consume is something that we all do. The problem comes when you don't have the means to acquire the things that we think represent us, be it because of financial reasons or limited access. In other words, it is a criminal offense the fact that I can't buy this $1 million mansion that fits so well in the idea of what kind of person I am or want to be. My examples are getting a bit out of hand, but this is just to illustrate how ridiculous it is to link your identity to your consuming patterns. Instead, who you are should be linked with what you do and not with what you have. I think this is a very important distinction to make when analyzing any aesthetic. If you do want to be part of that clean girl aesthetic, the only way to do it is not necessarily by buying a matcha latte every morning. It can also be through journaling, reading, doing sports. And if you feel that you can't fully be part of an aesthetic because Instagram and TikTok keeps throwing into your face new things that you wish you had, this is because Instagram and TikTok are constantly trying to sell you something. So be careful and mindful when navigating social media. One thing I like about the clean girl aesthetic is that it promotes, or at least is trying to promote, finding beauty in oneself without having to change anything. The makeup is there to only enhance the features that you already have. The skincare is there to make your skin healthy regardless of the way that you look. Of course, it should not be a 13-step skincare routine realistically. We already know why it gets so exaggerated. It can also be just a few steps in order to take care of your skin. I have always been fascinated by the skincare community, and growing up as a teen watched hundreds and hundreds of hours of beauty gurus explaining their routine, all the while mine being just a day cream I would put on once every few days. At some point I said, enough is enough, but where do you even start when you have so many products and so many different opinions and routines at your disposal? Took me a while to find the answer, so here it is. Cleanser, moisturizer and SPF. That's it, the rest is just for funsies. Except retinol. All the girlies are obsessed with retinol, and I think they're right and they should say it. But to leave a bit this tangent and to go back to the body positivity versus body neutrality movements, I believe the clean girl aesthetic definitely abides by the first one rather than the second. Body positivity is about finding ways to love your body. It's about subverting beauty norms. It's about doing a lot of therapy work in order to see our bodies in a different light. It's basically saying that everyone is beautiful, and I think there is some truth to that. Body neutrality, on the other hand, says, my body is the least interesting thing about me. Come to think about it for a second. My body is the least interesting thing about me. It is not trying to push you to love your body unconditionally, something that, of course, in an ideal world would be great, but it's so hard to achieve in the real world. This is why we have concepts like toxic positivity, in which we are told that we should always have a positive mindset, even in the most difficult situations. Body neutrality says that it's alright not to like some aspects of your body. We live in a society in which we are constantly told that there is something wrong with our bodies, and as we know, the capitalist machinery feeds off insecurities in the hopes to sell you a new product, whether it is skincare, makeup, or plastic surgery. It can be quite liberating to say, I may not have found a way to fully love my body, and that's okay because there are so many other things that I should focus on, like my creativity, my education, my health, my passions. And so it is an aspiration towards our appearance being just a small part of our identity. The focus on work shifting to the other more important ones. There is this YouTuber Cove Studio that argues that not everyone is beautiful and there are beauty standards that either work or don't work in your favor, and does not deter sometimes from calling people ugly. Haven't really decided whether I agree or not with his ideas, but it is fascinating to see such a take on the beauty standards. The clean girl aesthetic has a primary goal to try to make you feel good about your body the way that it is, but at the same time encourages active lifestyle changes that would lead to better health, at least in these girlies' opinions. This would be working out, waking up early, eating lots of fruits and vegetables, taking care of your mental health, which is nice in theory, right? But then why are we only seeing skinny white pretty girls as the inspiration for this aesthetic? It's as if you are allowed to show your unfiltered face, but only if it already abides by the beauty standards, which completely goes against what the clean girl aesthetic is trying to achieve. Basically, you should accept yourself and wear no makeup, but only if you're skinny and conventionally attractive. And I think this is one of the biggest flaws with this aesthetic, in which the things that they promote and what they actually do are diametrally opposed. Wear makeup to look like you're not wearing makeup. Take care of your body, but don't forget to be skinny. Look flawless at all times, but pretend you didn't invest any time into doing so, which can be a very dangerous kind of content to consume. If you constantly are told that some people put in limited effort into achieving the clean girl look, and you put in so much effort and you still can't achieve it, you start thinking, is there something wrong with me? I stumbled upon this interesting post on Tumblr, yes I'm on Tumblr, about how the clean girl aesthetic is giving Patrick Bateman vibes. It says that this new trend, mostly on TikTok as far as I know, in which people, predominantly white women in their 20s, base their entire lives and appearances around appearing clean or minimalistic, natural and effortlessly flawless. The idea is to be constantly 100% put together. Another commenter says, I've never felt like this was even an option for me, so that definitely colors my perception of it. But it seems like the whole idea is to be as unobjectionable as possible, like a kind of perfect that makes you as an individual disappear into the background of a well-organized life. No one ever need concern themselves with her, that clean woman, for she is immaculate and without depth by design. And another one says, damn, the idea cleanliness is whiteness is not even subtext, genuinely creepy. At the same time, there are many interesting videos by YouTubers like Taylor Cassidy, who talks about how the clean girl aesthetic was something already present in Black women's communities. especially in the 90s and early 2000s, and are only now starting to get traction because white women started doing it. Hailey Bieber's, for example, brownie glazed lips have stirred a bit of controversy. This trend is basically a lip gloss with brown lip liner, which have been a staple for Latina and Black women for decades. But no reference was made to the originators in Hailey's video. People are turning whatever celebrities do into a trend in order to try to recreate something that is achievable to regular folks. If you constantly look up the likes of Hailey Bieber and fantasize about having her lifestyle, which is unachievable to most of us, you cling on to something that you can do, for example, go to a store and buy a lip liner and a lip gloss. And so regular things which have nothing original in them have been done for decades by other groups of people, and in this particular case, the brownie glazed lips, done by Latina and Black women, suddenly become a trend that is followed by a big number of people. This is why I think it's important to understand and know the origins of the trends, question what they mean, and place them in a societal context. No art is ever created in a vacuum. What is the difference between who we are and who we want to be perceived as? You know those girls that always look clean, their skin is always glowing, their lips always glossed, and they never ever look like they wear too much makeup. You may not be them, but here's how to get their look. This is a quite popular audio for the clean girl TikTok videos. It becomes more apparent to me that the clean girl aesthetic is not about having the perfect life, it's about looking like you have the perfect life. Let's not forget that the act of them filming their that girl TikToks isn't very that girl of them. People are saying that waking up at 5 a.m., getting straight A's and working out 5 days a week does not feel too clean and aesthetic for them. Instead, they feel exhausted and overworked. The clean girl aesthetic at the end of the day might not only be unachievable to most of us, but perhaps in general by anyone. It's just a concept to appear as if you have your life together, regardless of whether this is your reality or not. And in that sense, it does not invent anything new, it just adds a little bit of lip gloss in the mix. I believe it has also to do with the relationships we build with other women. It even stands in the name, that we want to be that girl, someone we know, someone in our life that we think has the perfect life. It's the girl that everyone loves, and you can't keep but wonder what's her secret. In some cases, it might even be the girl that bullies you in school, and you hate her, but you also want to be her, as in not get bullied and put down. Very Regina George style. And so in that sense, I understand the appeal of trying to look like someone who never had a problem in her entire life, or never had a nervous breakdown about it at least. What we have to understand is that this is all a facade that we're putting on. We're all fighting our inner cockroaches, and no amount of lip gloss is going to fix that. But hey, at least it looks cute. Thanks for tuning in, and don't hesitate to interact with the buttons below if you enjoyed it, and have a good day.